there was dead when they actually used it for a mound.
They still have the, like Greenville Baseball Hall of Fame, you know, how they have the plaques up there and everything.
Does he do camera?
Yeah, like a bunch of them
If it doesn't
out there
know.
in the, well, you can see them if you go to the ballpark. They're out there, whatever, but if you're on the bottom row, like, out there,
Hit the
whatever.
other switch to turn
I
on
know
the
that's where
other
Dan's is.
room light. It's not there. It's on the other. Maybe.
On a rain delay.
Well, you remember the old
There's a set of lights that's
best
off.
crowds they ever had. When they finally moved it out there, they were on a mission, really, because those other coaches were like, hey, something got too big of an advantage, we gotta get out of here.
Maybe. Yeah, there's another set over there.
And it, well, they had a legitimate way to get out too, because that ballpark didn't have any boxes or anything.
Oh, you know what? No, it might be that one in the back. I'll check it when I get back there. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Check check check. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Mic 1 check check check. Mic check 1 2 3 4. DMAC, is the sound all right? All right. Wireless 1, wireless 1, wireless mic 1, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Wireless 1, check 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 1 2 3 4. Wireless 2, wireless 2, wireless mic 2, check check check, mic check 1 2 3 4. Wireless 2, check check, mic check 1 2.
That'll get you moving up.
Just a reminder, if everyone would, please check your cell phones. Thank you.
I also like the.
I was, but I forgot I gotta, clean my belly button lint out. You know how that is.
I thought you'd be leading the Rock Hill cheering section.
Rock Hill. Rock. Look, man, unless they got somebody playing for them, nobody in Rock Hill wants anything to do with that team, except for Darren Gann.
Yeah. Right, you're on injured reserve, you can't. Maybe they're not allowed the team to set up or something like that. I don't even know what the rules are. NFL seems like it's injuries. So many. Yeah.
Even though yesterday I was like, when I was leaving work, I was like,
I couldn't stand it, but the second game.
it was the worst like that.
Did Bruce play well?
He returned a punt for a touchdown and got called back due to two different blocks and fouls.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
When's he gonna go back to basketball?
Make sure they get scrounged for your eligibility.
Maybe the Warriors will.
Easy.
I did find out what Curry's on this Sunday, and I knew Curry said I was
Yeah, after the Australian guy, the rugby guy, you hear about him all season. It is a true story. First punt hit to him, he fumbled it. Great.
You won, David. You gotta be happy about it.
It was a pretty rough first quarter, I'll tell you that much.
I was thinking you were gonna say Charleston Southern Assistant, but posting 30 delivery day. That trumps that. Do we know, it's the first NFL posting victory for Has there been another posting for you? Oh, yeah, that's right.
somebody tweeted like they have
Apparently Mac Brown wants no part of the Texas AD spot.
I think that's right.
I can't even.
Yeah. Man, he knew what he was doing on defense.
I just should. They will.
Oh yeah, it is a lot brighter in here now.
Can't. Good morning, everyone. We have South Carolina quarterback Perry Orth with us, so raise your hands and I'll get a mic to you. Questions? Oh, he's checking his phone.
Nah, turn it off. There we go. We're good.
All right, David.
Perry, has it been any different for you on campus this week? Walking around, you getting any extra pats on the back, people shaking your hand, wishing you luck, anything like that?
A little bit. It's been pretty funny. Me and my roommates were always, kind of joking about what it would be like, and it's been kind of normal. I mean, I've had a few people come up and say good job, and I just say appreciate it, man, thanks, and just keep on doing what I normally do.
Perry, how would you characterize kind of the mood and the atmosphere in the locker room right now after Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday was a tough one, but I think we're doing a good job of putting it in the past, trying to move forward. We understand Saturday is a very big game for us, and everyone is excited for the next opportunity to get out there and try to turn it around.
Perry, just looking at it, if you want to go run heavy, do you feel you're confident to run that system, or if they need to go pass heavy, do you feel you're confident on running that?
Yeah, whatever coach is wanting to do with the game on Saturday, I feel like this is now my third season in the offense. I know what they expect from me, and I'm whatever they need me and need our offense to do to win the game, and that's what we're gonna try to focus on doing.
Perry, did you? I don't remember if you dressed in Athens the other time. Do you remember what it was like there? Did you travel with the team for that game?
No, I did not. So yeah, this will be my first trip to Athens. I hear it's a very, very exhilarating atmosphere. Much, a lot like ours at home. So I'm excited for the opportunity to get to play at a place like that. I mean, growing up in the South, you're always watching and hearing about what it's like to play between the hedges. So it'll be a great opportunity.
Perry, is it any different this week preparing yourself, knowing you're going to be the starter, as opposed to last week they hand you the ball and say, you got to go in there?
No. Last week and the week before I prepared like I was starting, so that, if I got a chance, I'd be as best prepared to play. But no, I'm going to continue to, do what I've been doing the past few weeks, and, hopefully that'll, continue to work out, and hopefully that'll, translate to some success on Saturday.
Perry, does it seem like a blur to you? I mean, how quickly you've gone from a walk-on to working in a grocery store to now you're the starting quarterback for the Gamecocks?
Yeah, I actually was just talking about that. It's been quite a journey. I've been blessed. First and foremost, I got to thank God for the opportunity, and then Coach Spurrier and Coach Mangus for giving me the chance to even walk on here. It's been a journey. I was just talking about how 2.5 years ago, I was the sixth string quarterback as a walk on here, and it's been quite a ride, and I'm just so thankful for the opportunity. But yeah, it's been a humbling experience, and it's been a blessing.
To the left, Pete.
Perry, did you ever worry that you weren't going to have a moment like this, that this moment wasn't going to come for you? And even after the summer when they named Connor the starter?
I never really thought about that. All I've ever really wanted to do was just work as hard as I possibly could to give myself a chance. And that's all I've ever really asked, or wanted, was just an opportunity to prove myself. And, the coaches, they let me do that. And, with the hard work that I put in, I feel like I've tried to make the most of my opportunity. And, it's been an awesome journey.
Perry, you mentioned Saturday after Kentucky that how much you learned from Connor and Dylan in the film room. What did you learn from those guys? What did they tell you over the years when they were here?
It wasn't so much schematic football stuff. It was more of, hey, this is what you got to do if you want to be a starting quarterback in the SEC. You got to put in the time. You got to work harder than everybody else to succeed at this level. And that was the main thing. Was our coaches do a great job of preparing us with the the schematic side of it, but just the leadership and the hardworking traits that they showed me over the years, I can't replace that for anything.
Perry, a couple questions. What were your football options out of high school, and what made you think I'd rather try to walk on in a major college program?
Well, I had a few smaller Division II offers, and then USF, they kind of gave me the same option as here. They said, you could come and be a preferred walk-on if you'd like. And when my dad had talked with Coach Spurrier Jr. about the opportunity of they were going to give me a chance to walk on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to come up and work as hard as I possibly can and, see what happens. That was my mindset. I didn't know. I knew coming in that, walk on, you don't get as much opportunity as, maybe a scholarship guy or whatever. But, I never really worried about that. I just tried to make the most of my opportunities when they came.
And to follow that up, did you ever feel, especially that first year, that you were in too deep or overwhelmed, or you had made a wrong choice or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. It's been I wouldn't replace my years here for anything in the world. I've met some awesome friends off the field. My two roommates are my best friends in the world. I've had an absolute wonderful experience here. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The journey, it's been awesome.
Perry, Brandon was a little upset last week about not running the ball more, particularly in the red zone. Is that something you guys are talking about this week, either his words or just that actual game plan?
It's funny. I talked to Brandon about that yesterday, and he was telling me he didn't mean anything by it. He's a running back, and he wants to run the football, and we're going to just do what Coach says, and he understands that, and he was telling me, I respect Coach, and it wasn't a disrespect on Coach. I respect him more than anyone in the world, and he's just, he's a running back. He wants to run the football. But I guess we'll see when come Saturday what Coach has got in store, because it's always a good time playing for him.
Perry, not only Brandon, but Sean Carson spent a lot of time on the field with you in the second half, and it seems like his play in the first two games is making a case for him to get more carries as well. What does he bring to the table in terms of the USC offense?
Sean's an awesome runner. He just finds little cracks that, sometimes after I give him the ball, I don't even see him. I don't know how he gets through them, but he finds them and he hits them full speed. And it makes him very, very difficult to tackle, especially because he's a little bit shorter, so he can kind of hide behind the offensive line pretty well. And when he hits those little creases, man, he is rolling out of there. So it's pretty awesome to watch.
Perry, have you had a chance to talk with Connor Mitch, and if you have, how's he doing?
Yeah, actually, me and Michael Scarnecchia went and visited him in the hospital on Sunday. He's doing better. I think he's getting out today. I haven't talked to him since Sunday, but yeah, he was doing better. It's so unfortunate about what happened with him. I feel bad. And a lot of people, get caught up in the quarterback competition. Are you guys still friends? Absolutely, we're best friends. I was his roommate for a year and a half in the dorms. That was first priority, was make sure, go and check and see if my friend was okay. This is not about football. I heard he had a hip infection, and that's no joke. So, I had to make sure, get in there and make sure that he was doing okay.
Do you have a feel for how he's doing mentally? This has to be difficult for him, knowing that his season is sort of derailed like this.
I wouldn't say his season is derailed. I think that, he's like me, and he just wanted to do whatever it took to help us win games. And unfortunately, he got injured, and, first thing he said to me was he was proud of me the way I came in and played against Kentucky, and he was happy for me, and he just kept telling me, keep working hard, and hopefully, the Saturday will be a better outcome.
Perry, I think there was a picture yesterday that someone took. It was actually at a Wendy's that said, "Get ready for the earthquake." Have you seen these kind of things, or have you heard about them, especially as you've been on the team?
Yeah. On Twitter now and social media, everything kind of just gets expanded throughout that news source. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I like all those jokes and stuff. I think it's hilarious. If people knew how I am off the field, they would think it's funny, because I'm just here to have a good time. That's what I tell everybody. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Just the everything that's come with it. It's been kind of funny.
What's your kind of relationship with Georgia football, if any at all? Did you grow up a Georgia fan, Florida fan, South Carolina fan?
Actually, I grew up a Florida State fan. I don't know too much about Georgia. I just, growing up, I was telling one of my buddies, growing up, it was funny. Every year, I felt like second or third week of the season, I was turning on ESPN at about 5 or 6 o'clock, and it was South Carolina playing Georgia every year, and I always watched that game. I don't know why I always watched it, but I always did, and I always knew that there were ballers on both sides of the field, and that every time they played, it was going to be a slugfest. But yeah, Georgia's a good team, and it's pretty awesome that I'm going to get a chance to go against them.
Perry, you seem very calm and relaxed right now. Is any part of you said, "Oh my gosh, my first start's going to be between the hedges against the number 7 team in the country in Georgia?
No, I'm just trying my best to treat it like a normal game. But yeah, it's pretty awesome to think about. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay calm and try to do what I've been doing so far this season, trying to stay relaxed and poised, and give myself and give our team the best chance that we can to win the ball game.
Any other question? Wes.
Harry, from a decision-making standpoint, does it change a little bit just that it's 0-0 as opposed to going into a game knowing you maybe have to take a few more chances to try to bring a team back, or not really?
No, not necessarily. I just, in the second half last week, I just tried to go out there and execute what was called. Didn't really worry about the score. Coach always preaches, you play hard and you play your assignment and let the score take care of itself. And that's just kind of what I approached the game last week, and that's what I'll do this week.
Anything else for Perry? Thank you, Perry.
Yep.
I've been here 2 days, man. In fact, people are wondering if I'm missing.
They're just like, like, see my response.
I'll tell you what, I was going to have a real good time. Holmes, they had to run him out, and then Archie got hurt. That was going to be a really good day. Archie got hurt. Get rid of it.
Perhaps get your red shirt.
That's all you gotta do. Just don't screw it up.
Should be good to go.
That's exactly when I saw that. That was the first thing that popped into my head. Why is Lang Green out? I think I'm just like this.
That was the other Eli, the one you're not supposed to pick up.
I agree with that, too. The defense is sort of
Should have just pulled one of these numbers.
getting no blame on these others.
Hold on, John, and then just stuff like that. Hold on, they're talking. That's what they do. That's what they do when they make ball work. Hold on.
Singing in the barber shop. Seen that pretty good since.
Especially when they're traveling on the road so much, you keep finals and everything. And that kind of practice for him. At least with football, they get all the other last 3 years, Florida, so after that, Southwest, you can't go all the way up there. Oh, just Perry Orth had to check his phone.
Quite the same elevation on that Stinger splash.
No, he does not. And he went back for a second. I was thinking, make sure I can hear from him.
I know.
This one? When was the last time we wrestled?
I probably, we wrestled, last year. For WWE. Yes.
I have a picture of you and Ryan taking pictures.
Oh, and I have the picture.
So originally it started out as they had some like interference. I was like, okay, clearly.
Yeah.
Turned into a tag team.
All right. Okay, hello everybody, and we're looking forward to playing University of Georgia. Georgia game is usually second game of the year. This time it's third game of the year. I was watching the tape of our game last year, one of the best offensive games I think we've had around here in a long time. Dylan Thompson and the receivers all played very well. We're fortunate enough to eke out a victory over. Right now, we're not moving the ball quite as well as we were back then, but we feel like we have a chance to match up with Georgia. Vandy played them pretty tough last week. Vandy stayed on the field, made some fourth downs, and sort of played keep away with the ball, so forth, and actually had a chance late in the fourth quarter, but they threw a pick for a score. But Georgia's like always, they're fast on defense, run the ball extremely well, don't throw it quite as much as they did back when Murray was there, but they're still very capable, outstanding receivers. They're always in the top 10 recruiting, and they got tremendous athletes across the board. So we got to go play a little bit better than we've been playing. We got to play without some really careless mistakes that hurt us last week. Just briefly on last week, our fans were super sensational, loud. We had a bunch of recruits here, and I think even though we didn't win the game, it was very impressive to those guys. The new stadium, all the beautification here just adds to South Carolina football. So we're appreciative of all that. And now we got to do a better job on the field, coaching our players, and our players got to play with more discipline than what we've been doing. If we can do those things, we believe we can turn this into a very successful season. Okay, any questions? Josh, go ahead. Oh, Joe's. Oh, you got it first. All right. David got it. Okay, David.
Steve, have you seen any change in Perry's demeanor since he's the starting quarterback now, or has he kept it pretty even-keeled?
Yeah, we just had one practice since Perry's now the starter, and he was pretty much the same as always. He played pretty well the other night. Obviously, the last play was a careless interception on first down that it really hurt us. Last play we had it on offense. Other than that, he did a nice job throwing the ball around and handing it off and catching the snaps. We probably moved the ball with Perry in there the second half, the best we have all year. We had a chance. Well, we had 5 possessions, had a chance to score 5 touchdowns, and we turned it into 3 field goals, 1 touchdown, and an interception on first down. So we got to quit getting penalties on the 1-yard line, and 2nd and 1. The lineman didn't quite make his block, and the guy ran through and threw it for a 2-yard loss on the 1-yard line. So those things were really crucial to hurting us. But hopefully we can correct those mistakes. And Perry played overall, I think, pretty well.
Steve, why have you given these guys such fits throughout the years for 2 decades
Given
now?
what guys?
Georgia.
Oh, I think we've just been fortunate to get some breaks here and there and win some close games, lose some close games with them too. But we've played them really well here at home, seems like most all the time. We've won a couple over there since I've been here, but it's who knows why. Sometimes you win a lot of close games against one team and not another team. But sometimes that just happens. No particular reason.
Do you have a favorite game in this series or a couple that stick out to you against Georgia, whether it be here or when you were at Florida?
Favorite of the 11 here?
Or Florida. Anything that sticks out in your mind from playing Georgia?
Oh, well, without a doubt. The 92 game, we're playing Georgia, and they were actually favored. Garrison Hurst and they were favored, but if we won the division and if South Carolina beat Tennessee, we were going to win the Eastern Division. And I think we beat them 26-24. Eric Zier was their quarterback, and that was the day South Carolina beat Tennessee 24-23, something like that. So that was a happy day. And that was the first year of division play, 92. So that was neat. I guess that'd be my favorite because there was a championship involved that night. We still had to beat Vandy the next week, but that put us in position to win the Eastern Division.
I think there's a belief that you like them less than you like any of your other opponents. Is that true? Is there something special
not
about
really.
them?
Not really. Obviously, when I got the job at Florida, Georgia was a team that was a thorn in the side of the Gators for history. I think somebody said that every time the conference championship was on the line, Georgia had won the game. If Georgia was involved in it, or if Florida was involved in it, Georgia always won the game. So we needed to change that if we're going to ever win an SEC down there. And fortunately, we had a lot better players than they did in the early 90s there to sort of get an upper hand.
Coach, with Perry's history, considering he's a former walk-on and how hard he's had to work to get where he is, are you surprised at his demeanor and how calm that he seems to carry himself?
No, not really. He's a mature young man, and he throws a nice pass, as you can see. When he takes his steps and gets protection and throws it, he can throw a beautiful pass. And he's been here, 3 years now, earned a scholarship preseason. So if we can protect him and get some guys open, he's very capable.
Steve, when you talk about playing with more discipline, are you referring just to the penalties, or are you speaking more broadly than that?
Well, I'm talking about the penalties and blocking assignments and fitting the runs, things of that nature. And we didn't do it very well last game. Obviously, it was a sort of a game of two halves, and we had a lot of chances, but we had some major breakdowns at crucial times.
Steve, how is Chris Lamont's health, and is anybody else banged up for this week?
He's got a sprained knee. He's still out. Most of the players, I believe, should be ready to play with, of course, exception of Connor Mitch.
Steve, I was going to ask about Connor Mitch. Is there any update of his?
Yeah, GA and I went by there Sunday afternoon, or actually Sunday about 10:30 or so, and saw Connor. He's in good spirits. They kept him in the hospital. I think he's still in there today. He may get out today or tomorrow, but they had to give him some IVs for the bruise, mainly. The bruise on his hip, his side, had some internal bleeding in there. So they had to keep him in a while. It could have been very serious. His shoulder separation, it's on his right shoulder. If it were his left, maybe he could play in 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. But with his throwing arm, shoulder, it'll take a little more time.
Steve, you have Nunez as your backup this week, so he's moved up there. Do you plan to do more with him going forward with this week?
Yeah, it all depends on how the game's going, of course. Lorenzo is a good player, and he's a good runner, good passer. And, I think we got to use him somewhere along the line. He played a little bit last week. We were moving the ball with Perry. We'll get both of them available and sort of see how the game goes.
Quickly, did you put Lorenzo in at the end of the first half because of arm strength? Because he was the guy who could get it to the end zone from there?
Well, he was our Hail Mary guy.
Okay.
And he can run around back there. To throw the Hail Mary, the quarterback's got to have about 5 seconds, give his players time to get down the field. So I told him, you got to run around now for a while, dodge a few of them, and then throw it as far as you can. And he came out there, and there was nobody within 50 yards, so he took off running. And I don't know if he could have reached the end zone. Gosh, we were on our own 38 or 40. It was a long way, but at that time, anything sounded better than running a screen or a draw play.
When you look at Perry's former walk-on, Carlton Hurd, I guess he's still a starter, former walk-on. Do you like that you've got guys who have elevated up, or is that an indication that your scholarship guys
our scholarship guys have not been quite the hit that maybe we thought they were going to be. But again, we give everybody a chance, and sometimes these walk-on players, I don't know if they work a little harder or out to prove more, but it's turned out that over the years I've had a lot of good walk-on players.
Speaking of walk-ons and Perry, I mean, how does that come to your attention? Does Steve Jr. see him, and then GA sees him and says, hey, maybe this guy has something who can offer us?
Well, Perry actually came up to one of our summer camps, just like Michael Scarnecchia did. I mean, that's how I got to know him a little bit and so forth, and got him to walk on. Perry did, I guess, 3 years ago. And so that's how you notice a lot of players. Of course, Michael Scarnecchia is on scholarship, and Perry earned one this year. But he came to our summer camp. We got to know him a little bit, and he liked South Carolina and, paid his own way for about 2.5 years or so here. 2.5, 3.
Steve, saw Sean Carson's moved up to number 2 on the depth chart this week. He's been making a case for more carries by his play on the field. Do you consider him more of an every down back or more of a change of pace type back?
Well, sometimes you just got to put him in there and let him play. And Sean, I think, average per carry, he's best on the team right now. So he's been productive when he gets the ball. Sometimes there was nothing there, and he was able to make yards. So he deserves to be second. Maybe if you went by yards per carry, he'd be first, I think. But yeah, he had some nice runs again last week, and well, he had some good play. Mm-hmm.
After the game, you said you thought your defense disguised better in the second half. Is that, after you looked at the tape, is that still your belief? And is there anything else that explains why they've been so much better in the second half than the first?
Yeah, that is a good question. The defensive coaches really thought we just played much better. Of course, we did. We got a couple holding penalties on them that they didn't come off of, which is always good. But I think the guys just played the game better, basically. First half, we didn't stop them much at all there, except first possession. And then after that, we didn't stop them, I don't think, at all. So it was 2 halves, yeah. And we had so many chances on offense second half. It was just sad the way it turned out. But at some point, we got to be more disciplined and play our assignments better, and we'll be a lot better off. And not get careless penalties like the one on the 1 yard line.
You mentioned some of your scholarship guys haven't hit as much as you'd like. Is there an issue with recruiting that you think, or is that just cyclical and that happens?
Well, obviously, we think a lot of them still can be very good players. But yeah, we've missed on some guys. There's no question about it. Some guys we thought were going to be really good. It just did not work out. Okay. See y'all next time. All right. All right. Tommy Suggs is here. All right, Suggsy.
And